So we carry the court case, go to the case down at Supreme Court. And the first thing Brother Milan asked me if I ask the judge if he is a member of the lodge. Because a lot of judges are members of the lodge, and the lodge is tied to the Queen. Then after that we put up the argument, and them start say about 6 different things them throw off away. Them say 6 years gone, because you know if you have a lawsuit, you have to file it within 6 years. We was and then find a whole heap of things and barrier for put in front of we. And although we lose the case in the Babylon court, we still know say that just cause it must rise up, because if we as a generation don't bring it forward, the youth them will come after we going to say we're worthless, we not do nothing about it, and we have to stand up. That's why in South Africa, when the minority white was a rule down there, everyone will look and say, oh, that happened, until the people have to come and rise up. So if we don't want to do it, another generation going to rise up and say, then wait, our people jump off a ship, dead down here, so, and cut off anytime you leave, divide the people, forgive man, chop hands if you bring back a slave, and all those things. Reparations is a must. And we now beg faith, we demand it, because not for the Queen, palace them we should build with our suffering down here, and the sugar profit, it gone, and we know it there, the ship line them, we know it there. The Church of England used to own slave, so all of them must come on account to all of us.
Yeah, this is broadcasting live from Mandela Park in Kingston. Speaking, Lawyer Bert Samuels was really serious cases. Para itself.
Muta?
Yes. Yes. Yes, Andra.
Yes, Muta. I'm telling you, I know you've been talking to Bert Samuels, and I'm actually outside of the truck. I know you're kind of inside, Muta.
You was listening to the radio. You're inside the truck listening to the radio.
I'm listening to my headphone, but we still have a little delay thing going on.
Yeah,
so let me take the headphone off.
Yeah.
Muta, it's 5:31, and you know I know you're winding down the stepping razor now, so I'm just chipping in to say that this is a historic moment. We have never seen anything quite like this, and I heard Carol Narcisse talk about how we're going to be tapping into this energy, and I think that is very, very important. One of the questions she asked earlier is what is it that we're not going to take anymore? And when we were traveling on top of a shockwave coming up Muta, you actually said a similar thing to me, is that so here we are, a crowd of people moving to Mandela Park, marching, protesting. Where do we go from here?
Well, where we go from here is where the people them want to go. We have to see what the people them are work with because we can only motivate, but the people them have to deal with a situation that confront everyone, and individuals have them own little individual thing are going, but collectively, really the state terrorize the people them. So where do we go from here is a big question. Big question. So here we say now, we want to sign off from the stepping razor before them lock way off with the advertisement. What Jai said, tell me what Jai said, then Jai. Write it on the paper. All right. So we give thanks for the day. We give thanks to all the people who turn out, all the people who never turn out on them radio. We said the moment in time was great. The moment in time was something that we shall cherish. For the cutting edge is not just, the stepping razor, don't go name stepping razor. It named the art of war. And when people hear the art of war, they must realize, we don't come with no ordinary program for radio. I will not joke about it, And this is one of the things them that we want the people them recognize. When we say the art of war, we don't just stay in the studio and talk things, but we come out and make the people them see we And we don't get sponsored by no rum company to come out here so. And no skin out jerk chicken place to come out here so. We come out here so because IRFM see it fit and necessary and important that the voice of the stepping razor is a very important voice. And we give thanks for Andrea Williams. And we give thanks for Chad, a little youth. And when we say youth, we are talking about youth who recognize the importance of this day and this moment in time. So, a news time, but we still are going to the park.
Not quite news time, Muta. We have a few minutes. Not quite news time. 5:34. And okay. Also want to say quickly, Muta, while you're giving thanks for the crew, because even on the ground here, this was quite something. Ricky and myself just talking about it a while ago. What it took the feet for both of us to travel on top of the shockwave to Mandela Park. So to the engineers, the hard-working engineers who did a yeoman and a brilliant job here today, to Ricky and Nicholas and Irvin, to our producer Joy Morgan on the ground. Muta, this has been one of the most scary OBs, but also
duck wire. I see a duck wire come up on the top of the bus, on top of the truck. I never see a woman duck wire so yet. You understand? I never see a woman duck wire so yet, but it is good. And as we are saying, this is the beginning. Radio station has changed in Jamaica. Radio station is not just to make you dance and sing and drink rum and go to jerk place.
So Muta, even though we're signing off from the air shortly, we're going to be in the park for a little while longer.
Yeah, man, we're still there, man, because we have a microphone set up down at the bottom there too. We call it the venting phone.
Yes, I give thanks, Muta. A virgin just passed to me. Ras earthquake just passed to me. Yes. Yes.
Where were they, Andrea? Gone, them gone. Give thanks to the time, give thanks to the energy. Stepping razor, stepping out.
It was good working with you, Muta, as usual.
Man, definitely. And tomorrow we head to Montego Bay. We'll go down there. Montego Bay. Give thanks.
Hundreds of people are ending a protest rally calling for justice and condemning acts of state violence against Jamaicans stretching back 50 years. Protesters in and around Mandela Park in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew, have been focused on calling for an end to acts of injustice being meted out by the state against the Jamaican people. The protesters first gathered at Ward Theatre in downtown Kingston and then held a silent march moving north along Duke Street. A motorcade then proceeded from Hero Circle and has now ended in a rally at Mandela Park with several speakers addressing the crowd. The event also marks a crackdown by the security forces against Rastafarians, ending with several Rastafarians being killed and many more being abused in Coral Gardens 50 years ago in 1963. IRFM is leading the charge with broadcasters and organizers Andrea Williams Green and Muta Baruka highlighting the activities step by step. Here they describe the size of the motorcade earlier this afternoon.
Hundreds of vehicles, some on bicycles, some on motorbikes, some in wheelchairs. I think we can safely say that barring Carnival, Kingston has never seen anything like this in a very, very long time, Muta, in terms of a protest.
Yeah.
Never. Can you recall?
Even me myself, I can't believe what I see.
We wish we could paint a better picture for you, but it's a sea of all different kinds of color. Of course, predominantly red, green, and gold. And something we have not mentioned is the many banners that are flying high here today, Muta. I can't estimate. Predominantly red, green, and gold. And something we have not mentioned is the many banners that are flying high here today, Muta. I can't estimate the crowd. Maybe you can. You're much better at that than me.
Couple thousand people, I must say. Believe you me.
Meanwhile, Mrs. Williams Green says the number of people supporting the protest and rally should send a message to the state.
For the state, this must be a message. This must be a frightening message too. But it must be a message because, and in this message we are also saying, and you talked about it earlier, Muta, that there has been no acknowledgement of the massacre of Rastafarians by the state in 1963. So we're asking and we're calling and demanding an acknowledgement in the first place. Secondly, we are demanding reparations, repairing of the damage. A lot of the victims are survivors. are still alive today, and so too are their children.
IRFM broadcaster Andrew Williams Green and Muta Baruka also highlighted that at least 70 persons have been killed by the police since the start of the year.
We ask the question again to the Jamaican people. We don't find it strange that we live in a country where since the year start, 70 young people dead from bullet from police. We don't find it strange where 1/3 of the population are quarter. So we now only run from gunman, but we have to run from the security forces.
RFM broadcaster Muta Baruka.
And the protest rally at Mandela Park is about to end. The protest for justice started nearly 6 hours ago as a march through the streets of Kingston this afternoon for an RFM-inspired demonstration for justice and against state violence. The rally in Mandela Park halfway tree has been addressed by many rights activists, some raising the recent spate of police killings and others referring to the historical attacks on Rastafarians that climaxed 50 years ago on with the brutal beating and slaying of several Rastafarians in Coral Gardens. The crowd swelled as first a march and then a motorcade wound its way through the streets of the capital city, backing up traffic and pulling thousands out of their offices and workplaces to find out what was happening. It was the first time that a media house had called for a protest march against It was the first time that a media house had called for this protest.